everybody. Welcome back to those who've been hanging with me some time, and welcome to those who are new to my channel. I'm Adele Levine, intuitive and medium. Wow, so the past, hair in my face. If some of you, well, not if, but some of you who listen to our podcast, The Witch and the Medium, that I co-host with Mystic Dylan, came to our seance this weekend, and it was the bomb. Awesome. It was just really great, and thank you to those who came out. If you missed it, check out our pics on our Instagram, on my Instagram, Adele Levine, and The Witch and the Medium. We're going to be doing more like this, and it just was super cool. We have a few changes and stuff like that. So subscribe to The Witch and the Medium YouTube if you want to be updated and stuff. So that's enough commercial for my other world, which is The Witch and the Medium, and our podcasts and stuff. We have updates. I want to get into the subject that I think would be fun to talk about, and a lot of people... I didn't really do a poll this time because I just decided I wanted to kind of go in a different direction. Not totally, but astral projection. I've done things on shadow people and done things on sleep paralysis, but astral projection's totally different. And I thought that it would be cool to kind of, go more into the paranormal / metaphysical / quantum / whatever world. And I want to kind of distinguish the difference between raising your vibration and going to the other realm, the land of the dead, or the underworld, and astral projection. Okay, so astral projection is when you go out of your body and you are coming, or hanging around, I should say. I was going to say when you're coming out of your body and you're hanging around this world. So you're walking around your room. It's not the same as remote viewing, which I'll explain. You could be walking around a friend's room. You could be hanging out the Eiffel Tower if you choose. You're going somewhere else, not in a physical body, in a spiritual body. And you're hanging out and you're doing stuff. So I'm going to explain how to do it in a very small step way, or how to get started in doing it, and how to recognize if you've done this already. Okay, so with astral projection, if you have done astral projection, it would be just like what I described. You wouldn't be on the moon, maybe a little bit, but that's kind of going a little further out. You would have felt like you had walked outside your house and you see your door, and usually it's really short-lived. Unless you're someone who's really experienced at it, then it's longer. What I mean by that, because it's a vibration and your spirit's a vibration, you can't hold your vibration outside of your body for too long. So how to get started? Okay, it's not meditation. Meditation grounds you, keeps you into this realm, keeps you into your body. What it is that you do want to raise your frequency. So whether you're doing it with music, and if you want tips on raising vibration, you can go to my video that I have on raising vibration. And you want to push yourself out, and it's also in the dream wake state. So it's good to do if you're falling asleep, or if you want to take a nap, or if you just want to chill and go into the dream wake state. And you're going to this dream wake state, and you kind of start to kind of drift off and let go. So in other words, you might be just kind of zoning out and drifting off and letting go. And as you're zoning out and drifting off and letting go, your spirit starts to kind of wander about. With astral projection, it's a little more intense because you really are trying to push yourself, come out of your body. The hard part is that you can get scared, and that's where sleep paralysis comes in. Believe it or not, a lot of the times when people feel, and I've covered this in shadow people in my sleep paralysis videos, but when you feel like this pressure and you feel like something's attacking you, it's usually spirits or other, even actually I know people always see them as bad, but that's because you can't really see them very well, meaning your sight isn't developed enough to recognize the beings, and you're still developing it. But they're usually beings that are trying to help pull you out of your body and try to, hey, why don't you come hang out here? That happened to me once when I said I wanted to see that realm, and I thought I had like a stroke, and it really was just my body froze up while my spirit was trying to move out. And then I freaked out, and then that's where the freezing, that's where I came back in. So if you want to astral project, it is good. It does happen a lot to people when they're sleeping, but first you want to do protection. So first things first, you want to put protection around you. You want to call in whatever type of protection you like. If it's God, if it's Jesus, if it's angels, if it's segment, if it's deities, if it's just pure energy, if it's none of those things, there's no judgment on what you feel protection is for you, but you need to do it. And you need to put a protective energy. It's not to ward off evil or anything. It's almost kind of like the idea if you're going to leave your purse or you're going to leave something valuable, you put it in a protective spot. You don't just like put it in the middle of all these people. That's what people don't seem to understand. They always think it means it's evil or something bad, but it's really when you're going, listen, I'm about to leave my body, and if I'm going to leave my body, I want to make sure it's not being attacked and it's not being hijacked. And I don't mean like you're going to get possessed, but I'm just saying there isn't anybody like just messing with me and just, poking around at me or checking me out that I'm not aware of. You want to leave. You want to make sure that you're saying, hey, I'm putting up a boundary around me. I'm not open to just hang out and talk to you and hang out with you. Actually, it's really the protection is for other people who are doing astral projection. It's not for entities like, and people seem to think, the D word demons or anything like that. It's really for other people. People who are astral projecting, it's a lower vibration, and so they can be bumping around into each other. I know people who have done astral projection who have been intimate with other people on the astral plane, and if you want to do that, that's fine. But if you are not someone who wants to do that, then that's why I'm saying you want to say, hey, it's kind of like going in the internet and not having any kind of security on your computer. You're like, I'm going to go on the internet, and no, I have no lock on my Wi-Fi. And yes, no, here's all my information here to know about me and hang out with me. No. You want to go and you want to explore with protection. So first things first, protection. Second thing, you want to get used to the idea of understanding the difference between the physical body and the spirit body. So you kind of see it like a Velcro. Your spirit's like a Velcro pulling away from the physical body. Imagine a cord going, visualize a cord going from your physical body to your spiritual body, physical body to your spiritual body. And this cord is connecting. And as your spirit is going out of the body, the cord is connecting to the physical. So you kind of like an astronaut have like something to tug on to get back to. Okay, so that's second. Then you want to determine when it is you want to do this. If you want to do this at night, if you feel really freaked out about this at night, then it's probably not a good time to do it because you're going to stop yourself. You're going to like get freaked out and you're going to shut down the whole process, the whole experience. So if you want to do it at night while you're falling asleep and you're in the dream wake state, that might be like a good time to do it. I mean, that I like that. I don't really, honestly, I don't do astral projection because I'm not interested in hanging around this plane. I like going to the other plane. But if you want to try it and you want to see what it's like, then and you're comfortable with the dream wake state at night, that's fine. But you can also do this at any time during the day. But you want to get yourself in that zone out mode. Like I always say this, it's not Zen, it's zone out. So if you find like music kind of gets you into that place, if you find like after you exercise and you're just completely wiped out and you're depleted of energy, then you may want to lay down and go like, okay, I'm just gonna like zone out and just kind of remember like when you were a kid, like spinning around and around and around, and you just fall back and you're just in that mode of like complete and utter trust of like, I'm just gonna plop here and like let myself go. Okay, thirdly, well, I don't know if it's third, but I do want to point this out because I get the feeling I'm going to get this question. Should you do this while you're on something? Meaning, like if you're taking mind altering stuff. I don't recommend it because mind altering drugs are for, or medicine, I should say, are for different things. I feel like I wouldn't encourage that on my channel because I don't want to be responsible for anybody. If you're going to do something like that, you should definitely do that with someone who's trained, who is well versed in this. By the way, go to someone who's like been doing it for 30 years, not someone who did it at someone's house and now they want to show you. If you really want to experience things like that through that type of thing, really have someone who knows what they're doing. So that brings me to, like, if you're saying if you want to be on CBD, or or if you're taking weed or something, you could enhance it, but it is harder to control. So I kind of say that I'm not encouraging people to do this in this way, but I know people who are really experienced and they do this anyway. You know, I'm not encouraging you to do this. This video is more about beginners who are trying to learn and understand what it is and how to do it. So I kind of feel like when you're learning and trying to understand, you should be a clear mind and you should be aware the difference between something creating that for you and you doing it for yourself. Believe it or not, we are very capable of doing this ourselves, and it may not be as easy and quick fix, but the problem is if you do it with something, you always are going to question, was it that, or did I really experience something? That's the hardest part. So I'm saying to you what I said. So moving on, if you're going to do this and you're starting, like I said, either decide if it's going to be at night or you can do it during the day, but you want to do it in a zone out place. And what I mean by zone, you don't want to be thinking of the phone call you have to make in the next hour. You want to make sure you have time and you let yourself drift and you put the protection, you see the cord between your body and your physical self, and you find a way where you zone out. Maybe you just listen to music and stare at the ceiling. Maybe you just let yourself listen to music while you feel stuff. Maybe you don't do that. Maybe you just like nature and it kind of gets you into that place, but you got to find your thing. And as you're zoning out, you try to let go and you try to let your spirit go. Now, it is a process. It is a process. It is something that you may do several times, and then the 10th time something happens. It isn't like when I had this experience and many other times, but the first time that I was very conscious, meaning I was laying on a couch, I was awake, it wasn't at night, and I consciously closed my eyes and said I wanted this to happen. It was after many times of doing, honing my spirit, knowing the difference between my spirit and my body. You know what I'm saying? So this isn't an overnight thing. If you're someone, this is how I want to end this video, that is already experiencing this. And I want to say this is different than remote viewing. Remote viewing is when I'm sitting here, fully awake, eyes open, and I'm able to walk through someone's house and see their house and see things on the wall and see things in their room. But I'm physically sitting here. I'm not zoned out. My spirit isn't somewhere else. I'm actually using third eye to see. Astral projection is when you are spirit is walking around. Sometimes people have seen people they care about like appear in their room and they're like alive, so they're like, that's really strange. And sometimes vice versa. If you're already experienced this, then you need to learn to control it and you need to hone it and be aware of it. So you need to pay attention to when this is happening, pay attention to what is happening. Don't utilize this to go spy on your girlfriend or boyfriend or friend. Use this in a more responsible way and start paying attention. You can control it. Don't be afraid. Your spirit is visiting this other locations in this earthly realm. That is not the same to me as raising vibration, which I do with people, is pushing your energy so high that you push through the veil and go into the other realm. Okay, so that is the difference. This is just one video, beginner video of how to understand what astral projection is, because a lot of people think they're doing this a lot of the times, and a lot of times you're just kind of not. You're just kind of vibrating, you're kind of like floating around. You're truly like that. When this happened to me, I crawled around the room. I tried to turn on the TV. It's very mundane, by the way. It's not like entities are hanging out. I did see some beings, but they were protective beings, but they looked human. You know, I didn't get a full view, but they were human form. They weren't something, you know, crazy like you would get if you're tripping out on something. It was a very grounded experience. I was crawling around on the floor. I tried to turn on the TV. I went into the other room. I literally thought my body had a stroke because I couldn't move. My body just froze. It was more than sleep paralysis. It was much more because I actually left, but I didn't stand up. And I kept hearing something say, just stand up, just let go, just release. And I just was like, no. And I went back into my body. So when you're astral projecting, it's this world. You might just walk into the bathroom or walk into the other room or walk into the kitchen or find yourself at a friend's house. It is not going to be all, oh man, I saw like these blue beings and this and that. It's really kind of not like that. So I want you to know that so you can tell the difference. Feel free to ask questions and put your comments below. I tend to answer all questions I can. I would say there's sometimes maybe a couple I don't because maybe I can't or I forgot, but I pretty much say 98% of the time I'm answering your questions. And I know there'll probably be a lot of them. Like I said, go into this excitingly, but be responsible about how you're doing this. Don't worry about things possessing the body. That's Hollywood kind of crap. It's the protection is really just actually for other human beings who are bumping around. And you want to make it really clear that you're not just up to, bump around and talk to everybody and go everywhere, that you're being conscious about leaving your body. If you want to know about sleep paralysis, which may come up through this video because it often does, then go to my sleep paralysis video, and shadow people, which often does. Again, I'll say real quick, shadow people is just your sight not developed. You are seeing the shadow of a spirit. It's not because they're actually some dark, bad things. Your sight's just not developed enough to fully see the image. So all these things are about practice and honing and developing, and it's time invested in it. So I hope that helped. I hope that cleared some up. Thank you guys so much for always hanging with me. Subscribe here, comment here, subscribe at The Witch in the Media, comment there. I don't know. I probably will cross promote my WM until not forever. But I like to do stuff a little bit different on these type of subjects. And also I like to hear what you guys want me to cover. I really like the interaction with you. I am doing an online class on how to develop your third eye, part 2. I did a part 1. I wanted to make an announcement, which I will on my community. If you have purchased classes in the past and you have the recording, I have to, by the next class, I'm going to delete those classes because I can't hold on to these recordings for forever. There is a limit to the iCloud. But every time you purchase a class from this point on, you will have 2 weeks to download it. So you can download it. Just download it if you've already purchased it. If you want to take this, how to develop your third eye part 2, you don't have to take the first one. Like, you wouldn't have had to attend the first one to get the second one. I do classes knowing some people might be coming in the second time, and I'll go over the stuff. The only difference is that I'm going to go over what I did in the first class. I may not go into every minute detail like the first class, but you're not going to be like, what's going on? This isn't like geometry or something. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for all your support. I love all the stuff I've gotten from you in comments. Remember to follow yourself, follow no one. Don't go following people, spiritual teachers and readers. We're here to just unlock the door for you so you can go and explore and help guide you. See you soon.